You know what Kevin loves? Eating. You know what Kevin's doing? Getting married. I'm not saying the two are connected, but maybe if you use our sponsor, Blue Apron, to eat, someone will love you. Blue Apron. I wrote this ad again. Blue Apron makes cooking simple and delicious. Each week, they send you pre-portioned ingredients. You follow the step-by-step instructions. Blammo! You've got a dish to be proud of. No more eating out of the trash, YouTube user Matt Bell. They got warmed smoked trout and asparagus salad with fingerling potatoes, garlic croutons this month, man. Stop eating out of the trash. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. And stop eating out of the trash, YouTube user Matt Bell. Nick, what's your topic?
Wait, hold on. Are you going to switch your hat to a different location?
Do you need me to?
So this
Is that
a
going
new
to signify?
topic.
Wait. While you debate the situation and how you're going to move it around, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported us on patreon.com/kindafunny. Your name is not going through the infamous scroll bar.
Do you want me to sing The Wind Beneath My Wings by
Yeah,
Bette Midler?
I do want you to do that.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wished I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle. I thought it was a rainbow.
Beagle?
I thought it was a rainbow.
Okay.
They don't fly though.
Beagles don't fly either.
You are the wind beneath my wings. Ready for it, Greg? Ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nick has a deceptively good falsetto voice.
That is a great falsetto.
Yeah.
Fly high.
That's great.
That's what it is.
Really good.
It's really, really good.
My topic is, I wanted to do this a couple weeks ago, but we didn't. We had really good topics, and so I saved it, put it in my back pocket.
Bubblegum.
Man.
We had some really good topics.
This is
How
gonna
would
be a
you use that
shitty topic.
one?
No, we had I think a couple of topics go long, so I couldn't do this. But I
Okay.
thought this would be really cool. I've always wondered, when you see a movie that costs hundreds of $1 million and
Sure.
then doesn't do that money back in the box office, why people didn't go see that movie.
Okay.
So what I want to do with you guys right now and is watch the official trailer for King Arthur, which is a movie that came out starring Jude Law, Charlie Hunnam, and directed by Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
And this movie came out and it did not do well.
Gotcha.
I hate to use the word bombed, but it bombed.
Okay.
I can pull up the actual official stats for you guys here.
While
I
you
got
do
it
that,
on
Kevin,
Box
explain to
Office
me how
Mojo.
we're doing this for the audience at home.
They're gonna have to just watch this, unfortunately.
We can't embed this? Oh, we can't do it. We're doing that?
Oh, I guess we can do that. Yeah, we're still gonna hear it, but
I mean, if it gets blocked, then we'll have to do a show without it. Remember, we're watching the King Arthur Legend of the Sword official trailer, brackets HD. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds long.
yeah, it's got a weird little thing at the beginning of it. But I think maybe we should watch it with audio, maybe not the visual, and then people can watch it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, so follow me on this. Couldn't we do it, and then when we upload it, we'll know right away?
And can edit it.
You could break out this
Nick-
part, put it up, see if it gets the episode blocked, right?
I'm sure we watched about 4 minutes of Top Gun this morning.
That definitely got you blocked.
Sorry about that. It was the entire volleyball scene. Sometimes Kevin goes in all
great
of that.
scene, but yeah.
Nick and I can recreate the whole trailer.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want.
I mean, we could do a sync
thought you were gonna
experience for
recreate
those
the,
at home, but I mean, we could
Let's do that.
also.
Why don't we do that?
Well, then for
We're
the,
going to do the volleyball.
do you want us talking over it or letting it go?
We can talk over it. Yeah, we don't.
Kevin, do you want to do a time jump? Right, so you put an edit here and you jump, basically, you cut 2 minutes and 16 seconds out. All right, everybody, so we're about to watch King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, official trailer HD. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and pause it right now. Find it over this. What channel is it on over there, the official version we're watching? We're on the Warner Brothers
channel.
Pictures one. This has 5,922,838 views. We're about to give it 839. So you can now play a game of when you watched it based on our view count.
See
All right,
how many
cool.
views. Okay.
So we're going to watch this and jump back to it.
That's fun.
What if the numbers got lower?
No, that'd be really weird.
Something
Yep.
mischievous would be afoot.
And we're back.
And we're back.
All right, we've watched the trailer.
Movie did a worldwide, as of right now on Box Office Mojo, worldwide $119,900,000, but it costs a reported $175 million to make. So that's a pretty big loss for them. Now the question is, I saw the original trailer for this, teaser for this, which was very Guy Ritchie, very jump cutty, crazy, like, right? And then obviously this is a little bit more mainstream. I had no desire to see this film. but because of a set of circumstances that were beyond my control,
Yusef McGee.
right, I ended up actually seeing it, and I really liked it.
Wow,
I
really?
was like, this is, I liked it. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable popcorn blockbuster,
Okay.
like fun film.
Sure.
Right. So I'll open it up to you guys. Like, what you obviously it came and went and wasn't even a blip on your radar.
No.
Why not?
Well, I didn't see that trailer. I mean, I feel like I'm always an interesting tester, but I just don't get to the movies or watch much TV.
Sure.
I was on Fanboys today over on Twitch, and they were talking about all these. I'm like, I don't know how you guys have any hours in the day to see this much television.
They're not
or
married.
This much stuff. I don't know.
I'm joking about.
But looking at this, like for me, it's a few different things. Number one, we already have a Game of Thrones. I am not of the mindset, with the exception of things I'm super into, like obviously superheroes and stuff. Like I'm not like, oh man, this genre is so hot right now. It goes the opposite, where it's like, that looks all right, but I'm sure Game of Thrones is better, and I'm not even that big of a Game of Thrones fan. Number two, and a big knock for me, is that with all due respect to all the actors in there, none of those actors are ones where I'm like, yeah. Like Charlie, I like the first 2 seasons of Sons of Anarchy, but then I associated him with Sons of Anarchy, which overstayed its welcome and got so weird and diluted and ended awkwardly. All right, fine. Then it's Jude Law. I can't think of another Jude Law. He was in
Young Pope.
He's young. Is that good? I haven't watched it.
Who knows?
All right. Same idea of like,
Yeah.
Jude Law, I think right now, and he's in Sherlock Holmes, which I didn't see. I just know it from trailers. I don't like that time period, so I never saw Sherlock Holmes. I like Robert Downey Jr. fine, but I like him as
Interesting.
Iron
It's really
Man.
good.
But it's
I think you'd really like it.
There's few actors that actually get me to fucking go, and I'm gonna go see that picture. It's like we talk about The Rock, right? I'm gonna still see Baywatch. You didn't like Baywatch. I'm gonna still get out and see Baywatch at some point. Because I like The Rock that much, and I like Zac Efron that much. Like, I'm in it for that. Like, there's got to be something. There's nothing about that movie or that trailer where I was like, that's a Greg Miller jam.
This reminds me so much of The Mummy, The Scorpion King with The Rock, where it's a...
Saw that in theaters.
Did you?
Yeah. That
did
was back,
too.
that was back in the day when there was nothing else to do. You were
That was
like,
Mummy 2. Yeah, I saw that.
what's
Yeah.
out this weekend? We're going to see a
So,
movie.
what? First off, it's not a Marvel movie. It's not a Disney movie.
Right.
It is not an IP
Same thing, by the
that
way.
really well, sure, you know,
joking
what I mean,
around.
yeah.
I'm joking around.
But it's not an IP that really anybody gives a shit about right now.
Yeah.
If this were in the Lord of the Rings universe and it was done by Peter Jackson, it would have made
Been
noise.
3 films.
People would have, yeah, too long. People would have cared about it more, way more. There's not this genre. I mean, I love the genre. I love fantasy type stuff. I love Game of Thrones. I love Lord of the Rings. I even liked most of the Hobbits, actually. But there's not any actor that you can put in this movie that would make me want to go see that movie. And I saw it.
What did you think?
I walked out just like,
That's something
I could have
did.
not seen it, and
That
it
was
would
okay.
not have changed my life.
But did you think it was bad?
No.
Yeah. Serviceable, right? It was fun.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
I mean, there were some fun scenes. There was a lot of scenes where I was like, I don't want to be here.
I thought the beginning was awesome.
I want to go home, really.
Yeah.
The very Guy Ritchie sort of jump cutty sort of stuff going on there in the
Yeah.
middle. When, you know, I don't want to spoil anything or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing that you can put in this film that would have made me want to go see it. Now, if you said this movie is, there's a King Arthur movie directed by Christopher Nolan with maybe
Interesting. With like
Christian
Fassbender as
Bale
Arthur.
and
yeah.
Fassbender, you're like, I would have given a fuck about that.
I mean, here's my thing. Did you see Dunkirk? Is that out yet?
It's not out yet.
No. it's not
See,
out
I don't
yet.
even fucking know. That's the thing. Like, I feel like, you know, I don't know. Like, I wish it was that easy for me sometimes. Because, like, I like Martin Scorsese. I didn't go see Silent, right?
No.
Silence, what it was. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, all right, well, no, that just doesn't. There's nothing about that trailer that's getting me excited. But it's such. I feel for movie makers. You know what
Yeah,
I
I do
mean? In
too,
terms
yeah.
of it, because it's like. It's either your trailer didn't excite me or your trailer was awesome, but it showed me too much. I feel like those are the extremes we have right now, right? Where it's like today on the show, they were showing the Spider-Man trailer, the latest Homecoming trailer, which I haven't watched. And it just kept going, and I kept glancing back and seeing new things. I'm like, fucking stop. Like, I've
Yeah.
seen 4 Spider-Man trailers already. Stop giving me more stuff. And then they watched a Baywatch trailer when we were talking about Baywatch, and I was like, fuck, I didn't see any of this. Like, because I actually cut myself off from
Right,
Baywatch stuff. And
right.
it's just this weird thing of like, I don't know how you get motivated somebody to go see a film right now.
I also didn't know it existed.
King Arthur?
Until we went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy,
Really?
and there was a poster on the wall, along with that Lowrider movie with Melissa Benoist. Benoist? How do you pronounce her name?
Benoist.
Benoist?
Supergirl.
Yeah,
Supergirl?
yeah,
She's
yeah.
in that movie Lowrider.
Which one's Lowrider?
No idea. That's an indie though. I don't think that's not a blockbuster.
But it was there were posters on the wall, and Kevin was like, "You're gonna go see King Arthur? Are you excited about that?" I was like, "I've never heard of it."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we were out that night that Yusef was
So
like,
why did Yusef want to go see it?
Okay, so
he loves Guy Ritchie.
he loves Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he had not seen this. This is what played in the favor of us seeing this movie. I was like, okay, we could definitely. He's like, I want to see a movie. I don't drink. He doesn't drink. So he was like, we should go see a movie. And I was like, great. That's a fucking. He couldn't have said a better
Speaking
thing.
Nick's language.
Oh, Nick Scarpino, because guess what just came out this weekend? One Alien Covenant. And he goes, that sounds great. I've never seen an Alien movie. Should I watch this one? I'm like, no.
Oh, God, no.
You should definitely not start watching this one. What else do you want to see? He's like, I really want to see King Arthur. And I'm like, now, I had just listened the week prior because I was down in LA for some stuff. And I was driving around in a rental car, totally tearing that shit up,
Hell
to
yeah.
a interview with Guy Ritchie on Joe Rogan, where he actually talked to him for like an hour and a half. And it was weird because it was a time capsule because the movie had already come out and I already knew that it did poorly. Like the opening weekend did badly, but he was talking about how he has to make the rounds and like you never know how a movie's going to do and how much when he was a kid, like King Arthur was like the coolest fucking story to him. And he always wanted to redo it in his way and like picked Charlie for a different reason, picked Jaimin for a different reason. Like, all these things he got to put together in his cast. And I was like, that actually kind of sounds like a fucking cool movie, but like, I don't get that from the trailer.
Yeah.
You know?
Doesn't it? It creates a bit of a vicious circle. This whole piece. To your point about Greg about competition.
Yeah.
There's so much competition to every week. There's 2 or 3 things coming out. There's Disney properties. There's Marvel properties. There's Star Wars properties. I mean,
Well, I mean,
all
it's
part of the
not
same.
even that, right? It's competing for your time.
Well, quite, yeah. And there's games, there's TV, whatever it might be. And so then if you're a studio exec sitting there going, well, how on earth are we going to get any attention? Well, we have to pick something that is going to resonate with people. Oh, Guy Ritchie, that's a name people recognize. King Arthur, well, I think that's a name that people recognize. So you end up cobbling together these sort of relatively known IPs or individuals or actors or whatever it might be.
Sure.
And then producing an average film. But, I'm sure Baywatch got produced in part because it was The Rock, in part because it was Baywatch, not because somebody had a great idea and
No,
thought
I'm
they
sure-
could produce a wonderful film.
I can see how the meeting went with the first executives, right?
Yeah.
They were like this. They put up just a picture of Baywatch, and then they just put up The Rock, and everyone's like this.
I'm in.
Throwing
It's like
money
people are
at
doing
them.
the 80s, 90s
Sure.
stuff. Let's
Sure.
bring that back. And rather than saying to a great filmmaker, can we produce a great new film? People are saying, well, how do I get recognized in an environment where there's so much competition that I'm not sure that anyone's going to have any interest? And then it comes out and it gets a couple of bad reviews, and then people go, well, I've got 20 other things I could be doing in my time. I'll go and do one of those. It might not even be terrible. It's just only okay.
That's my question for you two. And I mean, you had different reads on the movie or whatever, but was there a moment for either of you where Yusef's like, oh, because you had gone to dinner and then it was like, let's go do something else. And the movie came up. Was there a real conversation between you in your head of maybe I should just go?
Yeah. I mean, in my head, I was like, I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
Oh, you mean maybe I should just leave and
Yeah.
not do
Hey,
it-
man, happy
do the
birthday.
movie?
I don't want to see this movie.
But
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But then part of me is like, why? Part of me is like, why don't you want to see this movie? Like, who cares? It's a fun blockbuster movie. Get some popcorn and go see it. And your friend wants to see it, and you're out with him. It's his birthday. Let's go
Yeah.
see it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that can happen? It's a hilarious story. Like, if it had been bad and I hadn't enjoyed it, I would have given Yusef shit for the rest of his life for that.
Yeah.
But there is also a part of me that's like, some of the best experiences movie going have been the ones that I wasn't expecting. And sometimes you have to open yourself up to a bad movie to actually have a good. I really liked the first half of this movie. It's very Guy Ritchie. There's lots of crazy jump cutty things where in that Guy Ritchie style. I think the action is superbly directed at moments.
Yeah.
I fucking love Eric Bana. So you put Eric Bana on anything, and I'm like, yes, right on, man. He was the best part of Troy, second to Brad Pitt's abs. And so I feel like, I was glad I went. And it's unfortunate that every human being that should have gone to see that movie didn't listen to that same interview with me, because it is kind of opposite of what you're talking about, right? Yes, King Arthur, I think, is probably in the public domain, so anyone can make a King Arthur movie. Same with the reason why they're making a Mummy and a Frankenstein movie and all that shit, right? Like it's a notable name that at least gives someone something to.
Oh, you
hold
mean the
on to,
Dark
right?
Universe?
Right, the Dark
Yeah, yeah.
Universe.
I'm sorry.
Of course,
Let's call
the
it
Dark
the
Multiverse. whatever they
Dark
call it.
Universe. Dark Universe.
But I really believe that Guy Ritchie wanted to make this movie. I don't think it was a, hey, we're producers looking for a director for this movie. I think it was Guy Ritchie going out and pitching and being like,
Passion
I really
project
want to do
type
this
thing.
passion project.
Yeah.
It's cool. And I picked these awesome British actors. But for me, I look at that, and Charlie Hunnam is not, he's just one of those guys that I look at and I just don't think of him as a big movie star, right?
Yeah.
And he just proved me wrong. I walked into that movie thinking, oh, it's the guy from Sons of Anarchy, and I think he was in Pacific Rim, and
He was.
I did not like that movie. It just didn't speak to me. And so I looked at that, and I'm like, And I hate to say it because there's that old divide of TV actor versus movie actor, but I'm like, this guy resonates more with me on like the FX shows.
Sure.
Like, him and Ron Perlman kicking around some hogs, like doing
Kicking around some hot.
I never watched.
Oh, really?
Nah, I never watched
It was a lot of fun for a while.
Wasn't Al Bundy's wife in it?
Yeah, Katie Seagal.
So, so I see that, and so I have a little bit of a bias with him, similar to how I have with like Armie Hammer, for instance. Right? Every time I watch an Armie Hammer movie, I'm just like, I don't like this guy in these movies. I like them as the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah.
In
Got him twice.
Winklevoss, he did
Winklevoss.
double the pleasure.
Did you see that they tossed him? Rock threw his name out for or whatever. He came up in some like interview for possibly being Shazam.
Yeah.
And Rock was like, "I'd love to see that" or whatever.
Yeah,
Just like that'd be awesome. What a callback because he was supposed to be Superman before that Justice League project.
Yeah,
failed.
he's
or was
just-
he supposed to be Batman?
I think he
Whatever.
was supposed to be Batman.
Hey, Batman,
I think they tapped him for Batman. But like he's one of those guys, him and like Taylor Kitsch were the guys that like were trying, like you just kind of look at him, you're like, you should have been a movie star, but you just got the wrong project
See,
for
that's
you. Yada,
you're
yada,
saying
yada.
that he proved you wrong in King Arthur. I think he proved you right, and with all due respect to him, and how. But it's like it's a weird thing when we watched Wonder Woman this week. I had that moment of Gal Gadot smiling when her and Chris Pine are dancing, and I was like, "Damn!"
It's not
like
a dance, by the way.
she's
They didn't actually turn around.
they're
Sorry,
swaying. Sorry,
It was weird.
Damn, she's a movie star.
Yeah.
Like that's somebody you look at and you're like, that is a movie star. You were destined in some way.
She's not doing a season of NCSI.
Right,
on-
you know what I
on a
mean? And
movie.
not to mention that like she puts butts in the seat. You know what I
She
mean?
does.
The Rock
She
puts
got me to
butts
see
in
it,
the
yeah.
seat. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Where it is like, we had this topic before about comedies where I'm like, I need to back the people like Seth Rogen in the Neighbors franchise. I'm like, I need to fucking go see those if I like those and make
Mm-hmm.
that happen. And that's the thing of like, Charlie doesn't do that for me and for a lot of other people, obviously, and to some extent. You know what I mean?
I'm converted now though.
Because it's like Mark
I'm a fan of this
Wahlberg,
guy.
where it's like Mark Wahlberg. I think, with all due respect to him, he picks a lot of bad movies a lot of times.
He does.
But he keeps fucking making movies, and people keep going to see him, so the cycle keeps getting repeating.
Well, what's funny about Mark Wahlberg, not to get off on a tangent, but I feel like he's way better in a comedic role than he is in an action
Sure.
hero role, right? I feel
100%.
like he's not a bad actor. He just always plays that like typical, we need a buff guy, okay, put him in Transformers.
Yeah.
And then you go see him in a gem like Daddy's Home. And you're like, this guy's pretty funny. Or Ted, for instance.
Ted
right?
was a
Ted and
better
Ted
role for
2.
him, yeah.
You're like, this guy's
Fun
he's
buddies
fucking
for life.
funny, right? Or
Yeah.
I fucking loved him every time he showed up in Entourage. Right?
Oh,
But
sure.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
TV show, obviously not a movie. But like, I think he could do
It
good
was a
work.
movie, actually.
But it was a good movie. It was actually a good movie. I don't know if he was in it. Oh, he
Was it a
was
good
in
movie?
it. He was in it. Yeah, dude.
Okay,
The
I
Entourage
never saw it.
movie
I
was
never saw
legit. I told you to watch it. It's not like
Yeah, well, after Daddy's Home, I will never fucking listen to you again.
And Grandpa's. No,
I
you
told
watched that
you to
incredible.
watch Dirty Grandpa.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's interesting. But like,
Really? I thought that was the other way around.
No.
we're
The
both wrong.
narrative has sort of.
We're actually
flipped
both
here.
wrong, by the way.
You can repaint
We had watched
past
it
and-
independently of each other.
Yeah, and then I
you
came in and I
you were
told
like,
you.
should watch it. I was like,
You're
I just watched it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
You should watch Daddy's Home. You're like, okay, we're bonding, and then I totally fucked it.
That's why I gotta get it. I gotta get to Baywatch and decide for myself if you can be trusted.
The thing about Baywatch is that's obviously it just fell short in a lot of ways, right? It's an enjoyable movie. I mean, you're gonna go and watch it and be like, okay,
Yeah.
Like I think what they wanted desperately and what they were trying to emulate was a 21 Jump Street, and
Sure.
they just didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't work, right? There's just a lot of jokes that fall flat. Unfortunately, pacing issues, story issues. It's not. I mean, if I watched that on demand, if I paid $5 for it, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. But I was very jazzed to go out there
Yeah.
and support The Rock. I love Zac Efron, or actually, he's not even Jack Efron in this one. He's like Shrapped Efron.
Shrapped
He's like so shredded in this. It's actually,
0.0001
like-
body fat.
dude, it's almost to the point where you're like, ew, that's gross.
Like
you gotta
you can
stop,
poke
bro.
his spleen almost.
He looks like a fucking action figure. He looks like a Todd McFarlane like Spawn style action figure where he's like jacked out, but it's whatever. I have my own issues with body. But yeah,
I think
go
we're
see
getting
it and see
into
what you
another
think. But
topic
I
here.
honestly think you're going to be probably a little disappointed because I think
Oh,
they
yeah,
underutilized
yeah.
The Rock in it. I think they did probably had made a lot of poor
What's
choices.
interesting when you talk about why did King Arthur bomb, why do these movies bomb, is the person I go back to that I think actually has it figured out, and stick with me on this, is Kevin Smith. In the way of, I have a podcast, I'm going to make a dumb joke,
Yep.
now it's become Tusk, I'm going to go, that was not Kickstarter, did he crowdfund that?
No, I think Tusk was independently funded. I think they actually got funding for it.
My apologies. Okay, but he does this thing where he's like, I'm going to make these movies for my audience.
Yep.
And I know that doesn't work as a mainstream thing,
Not
but
with
that's
a
what
$200 million budget.
That's what mainstream's
yeah,
got to
sure.
wake up to, right? Is mainstream's got to wake up to the fact that there probably is an King Arthur audience. I mean, it made some money, just not enough.
Yeah.
I, on some of these things, all relative as well. If it had been a low budget film, if it had been a film that had a name that you didn't necessarily recognize, like Lock, Stock or Snatch, people
Sure.
go and see it with no expect. I don't know who this Guy Ritchie is, or go and see this film. Oh, it's a fantastic movie. You go in like a Transformers and say, "Oh, I'm expecting some amazing film." Oh, well, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I think if you go in with these expectations, I suspect if you go in to see Baywatch and think, well, this is going to be terrible, but I'm going to go and watch it anyway, you might be pleasantly surprised.
Like I did with Dirty Grandpa.
Well, that's exactly what happened with me and King Arthur, right? I'm like, oh god, this movie looks terrible, and from start to finish, I'm like, I liked that movie.
Actually, this was okay.
It's not bad. Like fun.
Also,
fun
I just
movie.
don't know if they promoted it correctly. Like, so I don't have
They
television.
did it first, and that's another good sticky. That's another good point that you bring up.
Where was the
had
first
really-
spot that you like?
I saw it on the internet. I saw it on YouTube.
Okay.
And so it played. I saw it's the teaser trailer, which is like, if you remember, I don't know if you do or not, but it was weird and cool. It was just them running through like the town, and it was very jump cutty. You were hearing their breaths like jump cut, and then they jump off this thing, and then it's like Guy Ritchie, like King Arthur, yada yada, and went into the actual trailer. But I'm like, that was pretty cool, actually. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I saw it in the theater. Before, it played before a movie, and then they went to the more traditional, like, let's not bill this as a Guy Ritchie film, which I think was a mistake, because I think a lot of people, I think it worked, that style at least.
Yeah, to me, like I am always on the internet, whether it's on my phone or on my laptop.
I know.
I don't have television, so there's no way I'm going to see a trailer through a traditional TV channel.
They should have put an
or whatever.
Overwatch ad in.
Yeah,
an
they
Overwatch.
should have. They should have.
That would have got
But
you.
like, I didn't see it anywhere,
Yeah.
right? And embarrassingly enough, when we just watched a trailer right now, I didn't know the subtitle was Legend of the Sword.
I had no idea that either.
I thought it was
just
just
saw
King
that
Arthur.
today. I was like, I
which is
forgot about
like
that.
pretty telling if somebody who saw the fucking movie didn't know that it was called Legend of the Sword.
It's also sad because it had that
It's an
title
awful
because
name.
well, it's a bad name, but
Awful.
they're trying to set it up for a sequel. So it's gonna be King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, King Arthur, and the
The
Knights of the
Round
Round
Table.
Table,
Yeah,
whatever.
colon,
King Arthur,
yeah.
Spoiler alert, that's how it ended.
They set up their own table.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's big change.
It's unfortunate.
What shape was this? Oh,
So that's
Oddly enough,
they
was
leaned
random.
very heavily into that joke, by the way.
Oh,
what is
dear.
it? Is it a table? What is it?
It's a big pinwheel. Sorry, we're just being super denigrating of your people.
oh no, I
apologize.
felt my people. I felt so at home there for a moment.
There you go.
It was beautiful.
Well, I've been a
sort of had a
cheeky
flashback.
Nando's.
If it had been raining and the temperature was about 20 degrees cooler, I'd have
And
been-
that's the weird thing, and what it'll be interesting to see is Hollywood tries to figure this all out because not only did this movie not do well, we're talking about how Baywatch and Pirates did really terribly and stuff in terms of what they need to make for these huge budgets. And stuff like that.
Pirates did better than Baywatch, I think.
Sure,
though.
but they still underperformed for what they were
it did.
supposed to
It
do.
didn't open as strong
And
as
it'll
they
be
wanted
interesting
to.
to see then how budgets reflect that and then how you go and activate those audiences. Of King Arthur wasn't going to be a mainstream success, but Guy Ritchie coming to Joe Rogan and telling his story worked for you.
Yeah.
So why not go do that with other places like Joe Rogan that have an audience that are open to hearing that and then say, fuck it to going to do the Entertainment Tonight or the regular traditional tour, you know what I mean? Where you
Would
go
you
through
both, right? Or,
Sure, but
trying.
I'm sure you got to make a sacrifice somewhere, especially when you're dealing with a smaller budget.
No, I think
We
you're
need to-
right, and I think that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh no, I was going to say you need some brave people who will do some slightly different things with which may tank, but may be fantastically successful. Because I think
Sure.
if you choose the average route, you're going to end up with the average outcome. If you say, well, let's put a load of spots on television, then you're not going to capture the audience perhaps that you want to capture.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we are seeing that. I think you rightfully pointed to Kevin Smith, although his last movie didn't do so well. But creators like that. But then I think they are starting to take a few chances. You can point to Deadpool and Logan as two of those chances, right? At the 50 million mark of saying like, okay, let's try this and see what works, and it really did in those two. But yeah, then you have Baywatch, which unfortunately just missed the mark on a lot of levels.
I'm not being funny, but if you spend £200 million or $200 million on a production, you've got to get to a certain level just to pay that back.
Yeah.
If you're producing a $50 million film, your bar is that much lower.
Yeah.
You're creating a rod for its own back. You're creating something that I'm not sure that people want to produce these franchises, but I'm not sure every film needs to be a franchise. Some films can be great independent small films.
Definitely not, but that's not how Hollywood thinks right now.
Nope.
Everything's
No,
got to be a
no.
franchise. Everything's got to be the dark universe. We're going to bring everything. And if that ends in a Monster Squad movie reboot, I'm okay.
Oh yeah.
If that's the whole reason we're building up to have Monster
Do
Squad.
they have to call it Monster Squad?
Yeah, they
Or
do.
can it be,
Fuck
okay.
yeah.
All right.
It turns out that they've been super serious with it, and like Mommy and Dracula and Bride of Frankenstein, and then it's like full blown. They're bumbling buffoons fighting these kids again. I'll be like, yes,
That'd be awesome.
Thank you. It paid off.
So a slight tangent.
Starring
That was
Jack Black.
That was the in the UK we have 15 and 18. That's the certificates you get. You get universal PG.
Okay.
Now you get 12, then 15 and 18. So 18 I think is R or
R, yeah.
it's somewhere. Monster Squad was the first 15 rated film I ever watched.
Wow.
I remember going
Good
to the my brother and I going to the video store and seeing it like some. I imagine it was on some
Like 13th shelf,
yeah, exactly.
only adults can get to.
Quite.
Yeah.
I watched it again like a few weeks ago. It was a great, genuinely a
up.
great film. Oh yeah.
I just watched it at the Alamo Draft
Hilarious.
House recently.
Pop quiz.
Good stuff.
What movie is responsible for making PG-13 an actual rating?
Oh, I know this one.
What Spielberg film is responsible for making PG-13 an actual rating?
film.
Yeah,
Indiana Jones.
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, do you know or not know?
Is
Is this trivia?
To the audience, we don't have a chat.
I'm pretty sure it was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
This isn't a live show, Nick. We can't wait.
Let us know, Twitch chat. No, we've done this
2 weeks
before. This thing. I think either.
I think it was.
Turns out it
Raiders.
wasn't.
Yeah, it was Temple of Doom. Excuse me. Ooh, I was
That's what I
wrong.
said.
This is
Temple of Doom.
this is where you get internet hate. now.
So which one was then the first?
Everyone
Oh,
in the
Red
comments.
Dawn was the first PG-13. So on August 10th, 1984, only 3 months after parents were outraged over the release of PG-rated Temple of Doom, Red Dawn, a
Oh,
drama
wow, I
starring
was
Patrick
totally fucking
Swayze,
wrong.
became the first film to be released with a PG-13 rating.
I was totally wrong.
But
I
you're
thought-
kind of right.
I
Like
thought it
you
was
understand
Raiders
how
of
it
the Lost
worked. Yeah, exactly.
I thought Spielberg. It was a terrible pop quiz. Pop quiz. Like
a teacher in class, pop quiz, everybody. Who founded whatever country? Who gets all the responses? Like, well, what do you guys think it is?
let's take a vote.
I didn't know. I was just asking everyone. I
I wasn't going anywhere with
I was
this.
interested.
I'm very curious. I just wanted to know.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here. Watch other videos down here. Clicking over here to go to the Patreon and go check out Kinda Funny Games right there. You can click right here and you'll go back and see a very old video. Just say I'm making it up. Put something there. Fuck it. I don't care. Old.